Hi, I'm FibiWard. I'm 17 years old, type 1 diabetic and the author of No Added Sugar. So today's the final day of this year's Diabetes Week, and I was thinking how, as my previous blogs have been mostly about the challenges of living with diabetes, today I could focus on actually some of the positive things that have come out of it. Positive number 1, it's taught me to be more organised because of having to plan ahead more. Positive number 2, I think it's taught me a lot more about nutrition and about how the body works to control blood sugar, because even with type 1 diabetes, when your part of your pancreas is down, the rest of your body, like your hypothalamus, your liver, what's left of your pancreas, actually there's a lot that goes on, provided you're taking your insulin, to try and keep your blood sugar stable, even though it doesn't always feel like that, as they can sometimes be a little bit all over the place. But it's quite amazing, really. So yeah, that's meant not only that there was a topic of GCSE biology that I didn't have to do any revision for, but also I think it's made me appreciate a lot more how important it is to take care of your health. Which brings me on to positive number 3, more health checks. Because being type 1 diabetic, although you may be more prone to certain conditions as a complication of diabetes, actually you have your thyroid function, kidney function, your eyesight, the condition of your eyes in general, your blood pressure, your weight, your height, all those kinds of things are checked a lot more often. And so if you actually get any other conditions in the meantime, they might even be picked up earlier than they would normally if you didn't have diabetes, just because of having more frequent medical checks. And so that could actually be a benefit in the long run. My 4th positive of having diabetes is personal to me, and that's since I've been very young, it's been my ambition to be a published writer. And my book No Added Sugar I wrote shortly after I was diagnosed with diabetes, about my diabetes, and then it later got published. And that was something that may not have ever happened, getting a book published, if I didn't have diabetes. So of course I'm grateful for that. The final thing, which is a big positive of having diabetes, I think, is just all the people who I've met as a result of it. And I think although diabetes can change your life in ways you don't want it to, all the worry, the blood tests, the injections, the constant having to check on your blood sugars and checkups medically and stuff, I think actually, like when I was first diagnosed, I was scared and I felt in shock and worried, confused. But most of all, I just felt alone because I didn't really know anyone else who had type 1 diabetes, like that I knew of at the time, who I could talk to about it. And so it made me feel a bit isolated. But since my book's come out, I've spoken to so many people at conferences, support groups, clinics, book signings, and also actually over the internet, on Facebook, on Twitter, and through doing these blogs as well. And I've spoken to so many lovely and inspirational people, and I've actually made some really good friends through the common connection of type 1 diabetes. And I think it's made me realise that although sometimes with this condition you can feel like you are alone and like you're the only one who's going through it, and it can be lonely and depressing at times, actually you don't have to go through it all alone. There are so many fantastic people and support groups and networks out there. And it really does help to talk to other people who are in the same boat as you. So yeah, a final thing that I'd like to finish on is just I've been thinking about how since I was diagnosed, it was 4.5 years ago, so it's not that long. But even in that time there have been some changes in treatment of diabetes. For instance, my blood glucose meter, you no longer have to calibrate the test strips for it, so that saves a lot of hassle every time you open a new box. Also, my insulin, my Lantus, there's a new pen for that, which is more convenient to use because it has smaller cartridges. I was reading an article today on the JDRF website saying they've developed a stable liquid glucagon, which is an amazing step towards a fully working artificial pancreas. And that would make a huge improvement to treatment of diabetes, type 1 diabetes, which is really exciting. And all these things, they may just in themselves be small steps, but in the long run they're actually really important big advancements to better treatment of diabetes and ultimately towards a cure. And so I think it's really important that we continue to support charities who fund research into diabetes treatment and a cure for diabetes. So I think that's pretty much it for today, and this is my last blog of Diabetes Week this year. I'd just like to take the opportunity to say a big thank you to anyone who's posted nice comments and nice tweets, because they're really appreciated, so thank you. And I will probably be doing another blog again in the future, but I'm not sure exactly when at the moment. So I guess bye for now.